I'm gonna do a 1 shrimp bite. I'm not getting crazy here. I'm not getting crazy here, but that's ridiculous. Dang. That's so good. Hey team, Chef Eric Gephardt here. Hope you're doing well. Summertime is all about that quick fire flavor. I'm talking instant gratification. I'm also talking shrimp scampi on the grill. Let's get into the action. First thing we're gonna do is get this Kettle Joe up to a temperature of 550 degrees. We're gonna bring a nice little cast iron pan to temperature. We're gonna use this to build our sauce. While that's coming to temperature, let's go ahead and fabricate some of these shrimp and make shrimp skewers. I wanna see 7 shrimp per skewer if you're using a 2125. And that's your smallest jumbo shrimp, all right? There's 21 to 25 of them per pound, great for grilling. And as I'm peeling these, I'm saving the shells because shells are gonna be a part of this recipe. Charcoal looks nice and engaged. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the lid and watch that temperature gauge rise as the dome accepts that energy. This Kettle Joe is fantastic for that. Again, what do we say, 550? I think 550, 500?
Sure, screaming, how about that?
Yeah, you know, all you need is a hot enough cast iron to reduce a pan of sauce, but not burn garlic. So anywhere between 500 and 600 degrees is gonna be perfect. People worry about temperatures and this and that too long. Like if you have a high enough temperature like that and you're grilling your shrimp, when they're done, pull them off. You know, and I know we haven't done this recipe 100 times, but once you do it the second time, cooking shrimp in general, you know what to look for. You see a sear, you flip it. If it needs to be flipped again, flip it again, pull it off, you got your sauce going. We rely so much on a recipe, we use it as a crutch and we forget just to cook. Again, let's chill out today, easy peasy. So next thing we're gonna do with this shrimp is devein it. Now, if you don't care about deveining it, I hear you, no worries, I'm not judging, okay? If I was just doing this for myself, I would not. If I'm doing this for my wife, we're deveining it. So let's devein it because obviously that's the right answer. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna put them right on the cutting board. And don't just do one on the board at a time, okay? Line them up a little bit. We've got our knife. A little positive pressure on the leg side of the shrimp. Start at the tail and just roll it on over. Now what you're gonna find is that little sand vein in there, and we can take that out, boom. Okay, what I'm gonna suggest to you is don't do that motion 21 times. Okay, slice all of the shrimp and then take the sand vein out of all the shrimp. Otherwise you're gonna be here for a country hour, and that's a lot of white wine. Love these fresh shrimp too. It's so nice to be on the coast. That being said, no matter where you are in the country, in the world, this day and age, we've got access to fresh shrimp shipped direct to your door. If you need help with that, send me a direct message or make a comment down below. Say, hey, here's where I am. Where do I find fresh shrimp? All right. Now that we have all 21 of our shrimperoos, again, we're gonna go through and pick out any of those undesirable parts of the shrimp. Now, the best way to skewer 7 shrimp, in my mind, is to line 7 shrimp up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And let's do that 2 more times over. Now we want to run this through the center. Don't worry about running 2 per skewer, it's okay. And we're just going to put a little positive pressure on each one so that we can make sure we are centering the skewer. Whoop. And then we've got a beautiful skewer. I separate them just a little bit so that heat can come through and cook it evenly. But that's the quickest way. Coming from a guy who's had to do 200 of these skewers an evening in restaurants, this is the fastest way to do it. Let's go ahead and open the dome. I believe our cast iron has come to temperature. Let's call it 500. Whatever we've said, check it out. We're 475 right now. Again, that's why I dislike writing recipes, because you don't need to wait for 500 degrees. If we're at 475, you don't need to add more charcoal and affect everything. Just roll with it and know that it's got to stay on for an extra 30 seconds, right? First thing we're going to do is start the sauce because we have to have some reduction. So let's start with a little bit of olive oil. And we're gonna go right in with our butter. Oh yeah. Butter and olive oil. They bring two different flavor profiles to the party. Olive oil is a little bit more savory. Butter is rich, decadent, and absolutely stunning. Great mouthfeel. Now let's bloom a little garlic in there. A couple tablespoons of garlic. Now remember, this is a shrimp scampi sauce, so it's supposed to be very lemon forward, very butter forward, and very garlic forward. You can tell I'm on a bit of a hill. Everything's sloping a bit. So I'm gonna knock this down. Oh my gosh, the aromas right now are through the roof. That garlic is, I'm a chef, right? Butter, garlic, I dream about these things. This is a dream right now. We don't wanna let it burn at all, so we need to be ready with our white wine. Just before we start to see color, see how I see the little color up here? It's getting a little hot because there's not that liquid there to kind of slow it down. Now we go in with our wine. Next team. Now we go in with our shells. We always save these. There's so much flavor. So right in the pan, and we're making sort of a shrimp stock or a shrimp fumet very quickly though. So much flavor is going to get pulled into this sauce. It's only going to bolster the shrimpiness, if you will, the fresh shrimp flavor of this sauce while that's reducing. That's about a 2-minute reduction there. Let's season our shrimp skewers. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, touch of olive oil, and again, salt and pepper. Stunning. All right, our sauce is reducing. We've got our grill at the temperature. We're gonna put these skewers right on the grill. And again, I tell you, if I call for 450 degrees and you're at 500, go for it. Use your cooking common sense and just know that if I say 450 for 2 minutes and you're at 500, it's gonna be a minute and a half. It's the equivalent of baking. And when you're making a pancake batter, if it's too loose, you add flour. If it's too tight, you add a little liquid. Same thing with temperature. Next is hand-torn bread. Don't slice it. Yeah, it'd be cool to have little slices of baguette, but something about hand torn. And we'll just take a little bit. Oh, let's put a little scampi sauce on there already, and then char it up with that on there. That's what I'm talking about. And we've got 3 skewers. So how many pieces of bread do you think we should do? No, not 4, 3. I don't need to hear somebody complaining, oh, I got an end piece, even though some people like the end piece. They got good crust.
I like the end piece.
Well, I'll do 1 extra for you then.
Thank you.
All right, notice how on this tail on this side, Nate, I don't know if you can get, maybe you can get it on this side, we're starting to see some color. In this sauce that's reducing a touch right now, I'm gonna go ahead and knock in a little bit of crushed red pepper. Now that everything's becoming nice and activated, I am happy with the flavor that the shells have brought to the sauce. So let's get a small pan and squeeze those out a little bit. And we'll discard these beautiful shells and thank them for their service. Cooking is simple. Think about 100% utilization. You paid for it. We just maximized what we had using these shells, toasting them in something that we were gonna already use, the sauce, and pour them over shrimp, just amplified our flavor profile 200-fold. And doing it on the grill, we'll shut the lid here in a second, we're gonna pick up that natural lump charcoal flavor. This is the perfect grilled dish for summertime. Let's flip these shrimp. I like the way that the color change is happening, okay? So because we're using the Kettle Joe and we're so high up, oh geez, we gotta stop my thought process right there. That is fantastic. Because we're so high up off the coals, we're not getting a blistering char. We're able to kind of go a little slower on this, which will turn out to give us more tender shrimp. All right, just to capture a little bit more of this heat, let's close the lid for 2 minutes. And then we'll open it again 2 more minutes and flip the bread, check the sauce. We're getting very close to ultimate deliciousness. 2 minutes later, I'm liking the level of sauce. Remember, that's butter, olive oil, garlic. All we're missing here right now is the lemon juice. Let's check our bread. That's the caramelization I'm looking for. Just a little bit, nice and toasted. Oh yeah. Let's bring these guys to the forefront as well. Remember, we've got a little bit of that sauce caramelizing on there. I'm gonna squeeze half of this lemon juice into the pan. The other half, I'm gonna slice into 3 wedges to stab the skewers in them from keeping them from rotating on the plate. I'll show you what I mean. All right, let's squeeze this juice into the pan. Beautiful. So with the addition of lemon juice, it looks a little loose still. We want to tighten it up a little bit. So I'm going to turn it and just bring everything to just a little bit of a simmer. Look at these bubbles we're getting. We want to glaze these shrimp. Now we're going to talk about Play-Doh. Check this out. Let's get our bread. We've got our skewers here. So let's lay those out, 1, 2, and 3. And watch this. Grabbing a shrimp skewer off the grill now, stabbing it into the lemon wedge and leaning it against the bread. This is where it's at, presentation points. And now we kind of bring it so that they're facing the center. Oh my gosh, look how cool that is. All right, I want to go in with a little bit of salt to finish this sauce. A little bit of pepper. We're gonna chop a little fresh parsley. There's a little stem in there. I want to swirl this sauce again just to make sure everybody's incorporated. Oh, I'm liking all that garlic, and look how it just comes together a little bit. Something about parsley has got this coagulative effect that it helps tighten up sauces. So don't over parsley. We're gonna use half the parsley here, swirl it in. All right, let's bring this pan on over and look at this. Look at how that's brought everything together. And evenly. Now what you'll find happening is all that sauce is beautifully glazing the shrimp, but there's also a lot dripping onto the bottom of the plate, which is gonna be perfect for using that bread to sop up and then just finish the dish. I like the colors. Let's go with just a little bit more fresh green right on top. That's a wrap. That's it. Stunning. Shrimp scampi off the grill. Don't think I'm gonna forget about that bread and that sauce either. I know the shrimp is the rock star here, okay? There's no question about it. It's shrimp scampi. You know, in Italy, you'd see a different type of shrimp or crustacean being used. They got the really cool long pinchers. But here in North America, we're using 2125s again. This is about big, bold, quick flavors. And again, lifestyle, because you go from not having a dish to 5 minutes later having a dish. Don't put that pressure on yourself. I want to reiterate, don't put that pressure on yourself of, oh my gosh, 450. Like, you've got a 150-degree swing on this, that it's going to be the same exact dish on both sides. It's just going to happen faster or slower. So if you got everything prepped up and organized and ready to go, do it hotter. If you want to take your time a little bit, do it a little slower. It's gonna be fine. It's just a freaking recipe. Don't be bound by the recipe, all right? Come on in, let's take a bite. Let's finish this thing. Stunning as it is, we've got to take a bite. I'm gonna take this lemon wedge and I'm gonna squeeze it on top just for another punch. Oh yeah. And then I'm gonna slide some of these shrimp down. I'm gonna do a 1 shrimp bite. I'm not getting crazy here. I'm not getting crazy here, but that's ridiculous. Dang. That's so good. Let's get into the bread. Come on down. And hand-torn bread. When I'm doing caterings, I call this hand-torn farm bread. Dude, with that sauce. Fire and flavor all day long. Simple ingredients, flame-kissed, put in front of you, crush it. Crush it all day long. That's perfect. I know you enjoyed this, because I'm loving it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, if you're worried about that wasn't enough sauce, double the recipe up and keep the same amount of shrimp, okay? But there's gonna be enough here once it's all squeezed and done. Absolutely perfect. Questions, comments, concerns about any of this, leave me a comment down below. I answer 100% of them. And thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed this recipe video, don't forget to subscribe. I'm freaking...
I know, me too. I want to eat this. Look at that.
I'm going a million miles per hour. Sorry. We gotta close this thing out. If you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed shooting it for you, don't forget to subscribe, like, do leave us a comment. From our backyard to yours, cheers and happy grilling.